Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Dan Dawson Show. So, there's been an update in the 21-month-old that was locked in the car, and the father refused to let anybody break the windows to get her out. And I've actually been staring at this article for almost 2 hours because it's incomprehensible to me. I recognize the problem. It's the same reason why we have these 18 to 25-year-olds in the streets burning things down thinking there's no consequences to your actions. And it gets me fired up. So I've been trying to calm my temper on this. The lack of parenting. The lack of parenting. Remember I told you yesterday where the mother said, my son did nothing wrong. Or her exact quote was, he wasn't negligent. He was very goddamn negligent. And I don't quite grasp it, you see. Because my parents wouldn't have been like that. I've told you stories about my mother. Let me read you the article, and then I'm going to tell you a story about a conversation me and my dad had a few months ago. But let me read you this article. And the article is from Rachel Sharp and Holden Walter Warner. It's at Daily Mail. The title is Family Were Investigated for Child Abuse Before Infant Died in Hot Car. The article says, Child Protection Services have received 5 complaints of child abuse for the family of a 1-year-old girl before she died in a hot car because her dad didn't want to break the window due to the cost of the damage. Now, at this point, it would be real easy for me to go back and say Child Protection Services were wrong. They should have done something. They should have jumped in. However, that's not where the problem lies. The government's not going to fix your problems. I believe Reagan said that. And Roosevelt. Heard a lot of... The article just pisses me off. I'm sorry. Cindy Dill, 27, was arrested and charged with child abuse resulting in death after his 21-month-old daughter, Saye, perished in a locked car in Las Vegas on Monday. Dill allegedly refused several efforts to free his daughter from the vehicle, where she was strapped for about an hour, including officers to break a window, call a tow truck, or get a locksmith. So instead of my mom saying I wasn't negligent, she would have broke the window out and told me to, go F myself. That's her grandbaby. And my parents have a lot of grandkids, 17. There's 8 of us in the family. So he claimed he accidentally locked his daughter in the car and thought she was sleeping. It has now emerged that the Clark County Department of Family Services was called multiple times over the last 2 years to investigate allegations of possible abuse at the family homes of the toddler. A newly released Department of Family Services report reveals the CPS, actually it should be that CPS, not the CPS, that CPS, received 5 reports of abuse between July 17, 2018 and June 16, 2020. It's an awfully short time. It also reveals the mother of Dill's 2 sons filed a lawsuit asking for sole custody of their children, citing domestic violence and child protection services being called to the home. They're going to say the CPS again. This is written by 2 people. Is there an editor there? It shouldn't be the CPS. Let me read you the sentence. The CPS received there are 3 allegations of neglect in July and September 2018, 1 in January 2019, and 1 in June 2020, according to the report. Drop the part at the beginning of the sentence and your shit's correct. Sorry, I'm kind of charged up. The agency determined that all of the allegations were unsubstantiated. The report provides no further details on the nature of the allegations. It would be real nice to know what those allegations are because they're probably going to play a part in this case here. Article goes on to state Dill shared custody of Saye with the toddler's mom, Mariah Coleman, and it is unclear in the report which parents' home was investigated in each of the 5 instances, reported the Las Vegas Review-Journal. In October 2018, Portia Henderson, who shares 2 sons with Dill, filed a lawsuit in district court asking for sole custody of their boys, who were 1 and 3 at the time, and that Dill be denied visitation rights to his sons. In the suit, which was filed 1 month after one of the abuse complaints, Henderson refers to incidents of domestic violence, harassment, and the involvement of child protection services. Police were called to 8th Street in Clark County around 3:30 p.m. Monday to reports of the little girl being locked in a car. Dill told officers he accidentally locked Saye in his car after a fight with his girlfriend. Is anybody seeing the pattern here? Does anybody see the pattern? The girlfriend told police he had returned to her just a few minutes after leaving Saye. He said Saye had simply fallen asleep and that the air conditioner in the vehicle was on. Dill told officers he didn't want to break the windows of his Nissan Altima because of the potential cost to the vehicle, $150. I replaced the windshield in my 99 Expedition, and it was cheaper than that. Dill told officers that was in my Cadillac, and it was still cheaper, and that's my Escalade. That's my baby. So Dill told officers he didn't want to break the windows of his Nissan Altima because of the potential cost to the vehicle. His girlfriend also called an insurance company who offered to send a tow truck, but Dill refused the request after a disagreement over the price. You see, you have that reoccurring theme. He's putting price over his kid's life. And that's raising. And I'll tell you about it. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. Police officers offered to call a locksmith for him, but Dill refused the opportunity to speak on the phone with his brother Saeed. Instead, Saeed then arrived on the scene and offered to punch in a window after wrapping his shirt around his knuckle. But Dill stopped him, again citing concerns about the cost of damage to his car. Now, this is the child's uncle. This is Dill's brother. He was about to do the right thing. About to do the right thing. That's what should have been done. Now this child is dead. After around an hour, cops smashed the window to reach Saye, but she was already dead, with police stating her body had gone into rigor mortis. Like I said, I've been staring at this article. I didn't read this far down. So rigor mortis doesn't set in instantly. This child had already been dead. For those of you it takes 1 to 2 hours for rigor mortis to set in. I'm going to have to actually research, but my belief is it takes at least 2 hours for rigor mortis to set in. It doesn't happen instantly. This is a terrible, terrible tragedy that should have been avoided, said Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson. Dill's mom leaped to her son's defense this week. See, there you go. There you go. Stop leaping to your kid's damn defense. You know what? When I'm wrong, my mom tells me I'm wrong. And she makes no secret about it. She tells other people I'm wrong. I'll tell you a story about that too. So now I guess you got 2 stories. Dill's mom leaped to her son's defense this week. My son was not negligent the way he handled it, Artavia Wilson told KLAS. Then why is your grandkid dead? Dead. Admit the truth. Your son was wrong. Ridiculous. He posted $20,000 bail Thursday before his court hearing. For those of you who've watched my previous videos, you may know that I used to be a bounty hunter. So the $20,000 bail, you pay 10%, it's $2,000, and you're out. He is next scheduled to appear in court on December 3rd. Saeed's mom posted a GoFundMe to help cover the cost of her daughter's funeral. You know what? I feel so tragic about this. I'm actually going to go donate to that GoFundMe. because this mother did not deserve this. I'm going to go donate. I am a single parent, and getting my princess laid properly means the most to me. Coleman wrote on the site, according to National Highway Traffic Safety, blah, 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 this many kids have... See, here's the problem. Dill's mother is still defending him. It's ridiculous. Defending him? My mom would be kicking my ass right now if I had let that happen to her grandchild. But it brings me back to a conversation I had with my father. You see, because the way you parent is observed by the way your parents parent and by the things you learn in life. So me and my dad had a conversation a few months ago. He had his 5th heart attack. He had to get stents put in, or more stents, and a pacemaker. So we were talking. And he goes, I'm sorry I'm not leaving you kids anything. And as I was talking, I realized something. He left us a lot. Here's what I told him. You have 8 kids. They all love their kids. They all work hard to provide for their kids. They're crazy about their kids. They do everything for them, for their kids. That's a legacy, because hopefully our kids' kids do the same thing. And that's a legacy. And I've told you the story. My mom often says that my dad's parents were my parents because they did the majority of the raising when it comes to me. But this, protecting your kids from everything and not correcting them, is a fault of parenting. This is a parenting issue. Your kids come first. They should always come first. I just don't get it. You let your daughter die because you didn't want to break a window. Fuck that. I would have kicked that window in. Sorry about the cursing. This one just really gets to me. He should be charged with murder. That's what you did. You killed that child. And you can't tell me that child was only in that car for an hour if rigor mortis had already set in. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. You should be charged with murder. It just really gets to me, the whole parenting thing. Even when you see these moms for protesters and blah, 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 and you're justifying what your child does. I don't justify what my child does. When my child messes up, I call her on it, because I realize that's going to serve her and her kids and their kids further down the line. Your kids are not angels. They're people. People make mistakes. Here's how people correct mistakes. When they make mistakes, you call them on it. If nobody ever calls them on it, they're going to keep making them. And this mistake led to a child's death. I didn't want to say this. This dude's mother is a piece of shit grandmother. And anybody with grandkids knows. Well, anybody who has kids and their grandparents are still, deal with the kids, they love those grandkids more than they love you. That's how it's supposed to be. This just really got to me, and I apologize. It's just really emotional. I don't know how I missed the rigor mortis thing. But then when I'm reading it out loud, I catch the rigor mortis issue. That child was already dead. This dude's a piece of shit. His mom's a piece of shit. I feel bad for the baby. You had how many incidents of child abuse reported to CPS? I'm sorry, guys. This is just mind-blowing for me. But I'm going to go find this GoFundMe and donate, because this is crap. This is crap. It really touches me. I don't mean to go on about it. I'll just say what I got to say and wrap it up. The mom's a piece of shit. The son's a piece of shit. You can't support this, grandparents. When you see your kids acting wrong towards your grandkids, you got to call it out. But I said I was going to tell you a story about my mother. So, my daughter, because I live in Washington, all my family lives in Texas. So every summer I would send my daughter home to the country so she could develop a love for the country. The country's great. Out in the middle of nowhere, and you can run around and play, and, you know. So one morning I called my daughter. I just gotten off work. I used to work night shift. No, I wasn't even off work. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, because my lunch break used to be at 4:30. So something hit me. It's like, hey, I'm going to call my daughter. And she's at home with my mom. And it's 7:30 in the morning in Texas. I'm like, hey, baby, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm eating chocolate chip cookies and drinking chocolate milk. I was like, put your grandma on the phone. It's like, Mama, why are you feeding feeding my daughter chocolate chip cookies at 7:30 in the morning? And she goes, because I raised you. I don't have to raise this one. I get to enjoy this one. People, enjoy your grandkids. I don't like this. I don't like the way this is shaping up. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Remember, how you raise your kids is your legacy to your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and your great-great-grandkids that you'll never even meet. But you're leaving a legacy. So, thank you for watching this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do.